On our anniversary, my wife said, "I'm not your property. I'm opening our marriage," kissed my best friend, and went on a trip with him. I changed the locks and started the divorce. A week later, I had 98 calls from her. My daughter yelled, "How dare you evict mom over this? You're an insecure loser if you can't accept the new reality. You failed as a dad, failed as a husband, and as a man." I gave her a DNA test, saying, "Don't ever call me again. I will sue for all the money I spent on you. Let me back up. We've been married 18 years. I'm 42. Cassandra is 39. Our anniversary dinner was supposed to be at Giovanni's, this Italian place where I proposed. I'd made reservations 3 months in advance. I invited my best friend Troy because Cassandra always said she loved his sense of humor. Troy and I had built our construction company from nothing over 15 years. We were brothers in everything but blood. I got to the restaurant first, waited 20 minutes. When Cassandra walked in, Troy was right behind her. Weird, but I figured they carpooled. Then she sat down, grabbed my wine glass, and said those words, "I'm not your property. I'm opening our marriage." Before I could process it, she leaned across the table and kissed Troy full on. His eyes went wide with horror. He actually pushed her away and said, "What the hell, Cassandra?" She laughed, told me she and Troy had been discussing this for weeks, that he was ready to explore things with her, that I could either accept it or be left behind. Troy stood up. "Dude, I never said any of that. She's lying." I looked at my wife, at this woman I'd worked 60-hour weeks for, who I'd supported through her master's degree, who I'd built a life with. I stood up, dropped $20 on the table, and walked out. Troy followed me to the parking lot. "Man, I swear on my life, she's been harassing me for months. I have proof." He pulled out his phone, showed me screenshots dating back 4 months, messages from Cassandra, explicit photos I never wanted to see, her showing up at our job sites in outfits that left nothing to the imagination, messages saying she'd tell me Troy made advances if he didn't give her a chance. I felt sick, but I didn't break down. I've learned you can't show weakness. People will destroy you. I told Troy to send me everything. Then I called a locksmith. At midnight, my locks were changed. At 8 a.m. the next morning, I met with my lawyer. Cassandra had taken that trip anyway. $15,000 charged to our joint account. A couple's resort in Cancun. Except Troy never went. He was at my house helping me box up her stuff. We moved everything to a storage unit. I paid for 2 months. Left the key and address on the kitchen counter with divorce papers. My daughter Willow, she's 16. She lost it when she came home from her friend's house. Started screaming about how I'd made her mom homeless. How I was a controlling, insecure loser who couldn't handle a modern relationship. I asked her one question. "Did your mom tell you where she was?" She went quiet. I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots Troy had sent. All of them. "Willow, there's something else." The messages included things Cassandra had said about our kids. How Willow was a mistake that ruined her figure. How she resented having children because it trapped her in marriage. How she wasn't even sure I was Willow's real father because she'd had an affair 17 years ago. My daughter's face went from red with rage to white as paper. I handed her a DNA test kit. "This is for you. Not because I doubt your mind, but because your mother created that doubt, and you deserve to know the truth." Willow took it with shaking hands. Cassandra came back 5 days later, tanned, relaxed, ready to talk about our new arrangement. She found the storage unit key, an empty house, and a process server waiting on the porch. The 98 calls started that night. Then my sister called. "Why didn't you tell me you guys reconciled?" She sent screenshots. Cassandra had posted old photos with new captions, describing a marriage where I'd begged her forgiveness after my affairs. Dates photoshopped to look recent. Over 200 people believed it. My mom had called Cassandra crying happy tears. Then I saw her latest post from 10 minutes ago, an ultrasound photo. "Miracles happen when you choose love over pain. Baby Patterson coming soon." My hands went numb. I called Cassandra. She answered on the first ring, breathless. "You saw it? Isn't it perfect? Our second chance." I told her I knew she wasn't pregnant. She laughed. "Check your bank account." I did. $8,000 withdrawn yesterday. Fertility clinic charge. She said, "I used the samples from when we tried for our second baby, the ones they kept frozen. And honey, the implantation was successful this morning, so whether you want this baby or not, I'm having your child in 9 months." I hung up without saying another word. My hands were shaking so bad I had to set the phone down on my truck's dashboard. I was still parked outside the job site where Troy and I had been working on a kitchen renovation. The client's house was this massive colonial with white pillars, the kind of place Cassandra always said she wanted. I sat there staring at it, trying to process what she'd just told me. Troy knocked on my window. I rolled it down. He took one look at my face and said, "What happened?" I told him everything. The ultrasound post, the $8,000 charge, the frozen samples, all of it. Troy's face went from concerned to angry in about 3 seconds. Dude, call the clinic right now. I didn't even think about it. I just did it. My lawyer had already sent them a letter 2 days before, flagging potential fraud on my accounts after Cassandra tried to drain our joint savings. The receptionist answered and I explained who I was. She put me on hold for like 2 minutes. Then a man's voice came on. Mr. Patterson, this is Dr. Westfield. I'm the director here at the clinic. I asked him if my wife had used our frozen samples. There was a pause. He said, Mr. Patterson, we've actually been trying to reach you. Someone claiming to be your wife attempted to access your stored samples yesterday using what appeared to be falsified authorization forms. Our security protocols flagged it immediately. We contacted your attorney's office this morning. My heart was pounding. I asked if they'd done the procedure. He said no. The $8,000 charge was reversed as fraudulent activity within 2 hours. Your samples remain secure and completely untouched. We've also filed a police report regarding the attempted fraud. I asked if they knew who'd submitted the forms. He said the person never showed up in person. Everything was submitted online through a patient portal that had been accessed using stolen login credentials. Probably yours, he added. I thanked him and hung up. Troy was watching me. So? I told him everything the doctor said. Troy shook his head. Man, she really thought she could just lie about being pregnant and you'd never check. I pulled up Instagram on my phone. Cassandra's post already had over 400 likes. The ultrasound image looked professional. I reverse image searched it on my phone. Stock photo from a medical website. First result. She hadn't even tried to make it believable. My mom called while I was still looking at the screen. I almost didn't answer, but I knew if I didn't, she'd just keep calling. Her voice was tearful when I picked up. Honey, why didn't you tell me? Cassandra just called me. She's 12 weeks pregnant. When were you going to let me know I'm going to be a grandmother again? I tried to explain. Mom, she's not pregnant. She lied. The clinic confirmed it. My mom's voice went cold. I saw the ultrasound picture. I talked to her this morning. She's showing already. You can't just abandon your child because you're upset about the divorce. I told her to call the clinic herself if she didn't believe me. She said I was being cruel and manipulative, that I was trying to turn everyone against Cassandra because I couldn't handle losing her. Then she hung up on me. I sat there in my truck for another 10 minutes just staring at my phone. Troy finally said, "You gonna be okay?" I nodded. I wasn't sure if I meant it. That was Tuesday. By Wednesday morning, Cassandra had posted a photo of her hand resting on her completely flat stomach with a caption about already showing at 13 weeks and how she couldn't wait to meet her little miracle. By Thursday, she'd posted a screenshot of some pregnancy tracking app showing week-by-week development. By Friday, she posted a picture of prenatal vitamins sitting on her bathroom counter. Every single post tagged my mom, my sister, my Aunt Linda, Cassandra's parents who lived 3 states away, her book club friends, people from our old church, everyone. The comments were full of congratulations and heart emojis. My sister commented on the vitamin post, "So happy for you. Let me know if you need anything." I texted my sister, "Did you actually read what I sent you about Mom?" She responded an hour later with a link. No message, just a link to an article titled, "Co-parenting after divorce, putting your child first." I didn't open it. I called my lawyer, Jeff, the same guy who'd handled the business contract when Troy and I formed our LLC. He'd been practicing family law for 20 years. I explained the whole pregnancy situation. He listened without interrupting, which I appreciated. When I finished, he said, "Here's the problem. Right now, to everyone on the outside, she looks like a pregnant woman being abandoned by her husband during a divorce. If we go public with evidence that she's lying, we're going to look like we're attacking an expectant mother. And honestly, judges don't like that. Even if we prove she's faking, it makes you look vindictive." I asked what he suggested. He said, "We wait. We let the divorce proceed. We document everything she's posting. And when we get in front of a judge, we present all of this as part of a pattern of fraudulent behavior and manipulation. It'll be more effective that way." I didn't like it, but I understood. I asked how long until we'd be in court. He said probably 3 to 4 months given the backlog. I told him I didn't think I could watch Cassandra fake a pregnancy for 4 months. He said, "You might not have to. Most liars slip up eventually." That weekend, Cassandra posted a video. She was sitting in her car crying, talking about how hard morning sickness was, how she felt so alone, how the stress of the divorce was affecting her health. She looked directly into the camera and said, "I just hope he realizes what he's doing to our baby." The video had 600 views in 2 hours, 53 comments, all supportive. My Aunt Linda commented, "Stay strong, sweetie. God has a plan." Week 15, she posted a mirror selfie in a loose maternity dress. I have no idea where she got a fake belly that quickly, but in the photo it looked real enough. The dress was empire waist, flowy, the kind designed to show off a baby bump. She'd angled the photo so the lighting cast a shadow that made the curve more pronounced. My mom called me that night. She said, I saw her today. She's definitely showing. I don't know what you're trying to prove, but you need to grow up and take responsibility. I asked where she saw her. My mom said they'd met for coffee, that Cassandra had shown her the doctor's notes and the projected due date. I asked if I could see those notes. My mom said it was none of my business and hung up. I called Willow. She'd been staying at her friend Becca's house most nights since the DNA test came back confirming she was mine. The test had been a relief, but I think seeing those messages from Cassandra calling her a mistake had done something to Willow that she wasn't ready to talk about yet. She answered on the fourth ring. Yeah? I asked if she was okay. She said she was fine, but her voice said otherwise. I asked if she wanted to get dinner sometime this week. She said maybe. She'd let me know. I didn't push it. By week 16, Cassandra had upgraded to a different maternity dress in her photos, this one tighter, showing the bump more clearly. She posted about feeling the baby move for the first time. She posted about choosing between 2 different cribs. She created a baby registry on Amazon with $7,000 worth of items. My sister sent me a text. Mom and I are planning a baby shower for Cassandra. We think it's important to show her she has family support right now. I texted back. When? She said, 3 weeks from Saturday. We're doing it at my house. I asked if I was invited. She didn't respond for 6 hours. Then she said, we didn't think you'd want to come. I told her I'd be there. She sent back, please don't cause a scene. This is about the baby, not about your issues with Cassandra. I didn't respond. Week 17, Cassandra posted ultrasound photos that I immediately recognized as stock images with the dates poorly photoshopped. Week 18, she posted about nursery colors. Week 19, she posted a photo of tiny baby shoes with the caption, can't wait to meet you, little one. The worst part was watching people believe it. My mom commented on everything. My sister shared the posts. Cassandra's friends from book club were planning a group gift. Her mother called me from Florida, crying, begging me not to abandon my child. I tried to explain one more time that there was no child. She called me a liar and a deadbeat and hung up. Troy and I were working on a deck edition when Willow texted me. Can we talk? I told her I'd meet her anywhere. She suggested the coffee shop near her school. I got there first, ordered a black coffee, and waited. She showed up 20 minutes later looking like she hadn't slept in days. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, wearing an oversized hoodie that probably belonged to Becca. We sat down in the corner booth. She didn't order anything. For a while, we just sat there. Then she said, I met Mom yesterday. My stomach dropped. I asked if she was okay. Willow shrugged. She wanted to talk. She said she missed me and wanted to explain everything. I didn't say anything. Willow pulled out her phone. I recorded it. The whole thing. Do you want to hear? I nodded. She hit play. The audio was surprisingly clear. Cassandra's voice came through sounding cheerful, warm, like she was talking to an old friend. So you understand why I'm doing this, right, sweetie? Your father humiliated me. He threw me out like garbage. He made me look pathetic in front of everyone. This is the only way to make him understand what it feels like. Willow's voice, shaky and uncertain. But Mom, there's no baby. Cassandra laughed. Of course there's no baby, but in 6 months I'll post about a miscarriage. I'll say the stress your father caused made me lose it. I'll post photos of me at the hospital, really sell it. And everyone will hate him forever. His own mother will probably never speak to him again. That's what he deserves. There was a sound of a coffee cup being set down hard on a table. Willow's voice asked, what if Dad exposes you before that? Cassandra's voice turned cold and calculating. No one will believe him over a grieving mother. And if he tries, I'll just say he forced me to fake the pregnancy to trap him. That he threatened me, said he'd take you away if I didn't go along with it. I've already planted that story with a few people just in case. Barbara from book club, your Aunt Linda, Mom knows too. They all think he's capable of it. The recording continued. Willow asked, don't you feel bad at all? Cassandra's response was immediate. Bad? He deserves this. He deserves worse. He destroyed my life, now I'm destroying his. The recording stopped. Willow locked her phone and set it on the table between us. She looked exhausted. Dad, she has everything planned out. She showed me her notebook. It's like this whole timeline with dates and what she's going to post when. She has fake ultrasounds saved on her computer. She ordered those pregnancy bellies online months ago. She's been planning this since before the divorce papers were even filed. I asked if she still had access to where Cassandra was staying. Willow nodded. She's renting a room from her friend Nicole. I have a key to the storage unit where she keeps all her stuff, though. She gave it to me last month thinking I was on her side. I told Willow to keep the key and not tell Cassandra she'd recorded anything. Willow asked what I was going to do. I said I didn't know yet. She asked if I was going to sue Cassandra. I told her probably, after the divorce was final. We sat there for another hour. Willow told me about school, about how kids had been asking her about the baby, about how she'd been lying and saying she didn't want to talk about it. She said Becca's parents had been really nice about letting her stay there, but she missed her own room. She missed normal. I told her she could come home whenever she wanted. She said she knew, but she needed a little more time. When we left the coffee shop, I hugged her. She held on longer than usual. The baby shower invitation came through my email on a Monday morning. My sister had used one of those online invitation services, the kind with animated storks and pastel colors. 53 people invited. The registry link was embedded right in the invitation. I clicked through and saw that $8,000 worth of items had already been marked as purchased. Cribs, car seats, diaper bags, bottles, clothes, toys, everything a new mother would need. I scrolled through the guest list. My mom, my sister, my Aunt Linda, my 2 uncles, 4 cousins I hadn't seen since my dad's funeral 6 years ago, all of Cassandra's book club friends, her yoga instructor, her former co-workers from the marketing firm she'd left 3 years ago, people from our old church including Pastor David and his wife, Cassandra's parents flying in from Florida, her brother coming from Seattle, and a dozen other names I barely recognized. The shower was scheduled for 2:00 p.m. on Saturday, my sister's house. The invitation said light refreshments and games, and requested that guests bring an unwrapped gift for the baby. I forwarded the invitation to Troy. He called me 30 seconds later. "You're not actually going to this, right?" I told him I was. He said I was insane. I told him I had a plan. He asked what plan. I said I was still working on it. That wasn't entirely true. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I called Willow that afternoon. I said, "I'm going to the baby shower. I'm going to expose her in front of everyone." There was a long silence. Then Willow said, "Dad, she's expecting that. She's been telling people you might show up and cause a scene. She told Grandma you're so angry about the divorce that you'll make up lies to hurt her. She's already positioned herself as the victim of whatever you do next." I asked Willow what she thought I should do. She said she didn't know, but that she'd be there with me no matter what. I spent the next week gathering everything. I made copies of all the screenshots Troy had sent me. I saved Cassandra's Instagram posts in a folder with timestamps. I saved the email confirmation from the fertility clinic stating that no procedure had been performed and that the fraud had been reported to police. I saved the recording Willow had made at the coffee shop to 3 different devices. Jeff, my lawyer, called me on Thursday. He'd heard about the shower through his wife, who apparently knew my sister. He said, "Whatever you're planning, make sure you can defend it legally." I asked what he meant. He said, "If you humiliate her publicly, she can sue you for defamation or emotional distress. Make sure you have ironclad proof of everything you say." I told him I did. He said, "Even with proof, this could get messy. You sure you want to do it this way?" I told him I'd never been more sure of anything. Friday night, I couldn't sleep. I kept running through scenarios in my head. What I'd say, how people would react, what Cassandra would do. I imagined my mom's face when she realized the truth. I imagined my sister's shock. I imagined Cassandra trying to run. I got up at 5:00 a.m. and went to the gym. I needed to burn off the nervous energy. I ran on the treadmill for an hour, then lifted weights until my arms felt like rubber. I showered, went home, and tried to eat breakfast. I managed half a piece of toast. Willow texted me at 11:00 a.m. "You ready for this?" I texted back, "As ready as I'll ever be." She sent, "I got the stuff from Mom's storage unit. It's in my car." I asked what stuff. She sent a photo. 3 silicone pregnancy bellies in different sizes stacked in a cardboard box. Next to them was a spiral notebook with "Baby Plan" written on the cover in Cassandra's handwriting. I told her to meet me at my sister's house at 2:15. Show up late with me. She sent back a thumbs up. The baby shower was at my sister Diane's house, this renovated craftsman in the suburbs with a big backyard and a wraparound porch. When I pulled up at 2:20, there were cars lining both sides of the street. I recognized my mom's silver Camry, my Aunt Linda's white SUV, Cassandra's friend Nicole's blue Honda. Willow pulled up right behind me. She got out carrying the cardboard box. Her face was pale but determined. We walked up to the front door together. I could hear voices and laughter inside. I rang the doorbell. Diane answered. The smile dropped off her face when she saw me. Her eyes went to Willow, then to the box Willow was carrying. "What is that?" I said. "We're here for the shower." Diane looked like she wanted to slam the door, but there were people behind her in the hallway watching. She stepped aside. We walked in. The living room had been decorated with pink and blue balloons. A banner that said, "Baby Patterson," hung over the fireplace. There were at least 40 people crammed into the space, sitting on couches and folding chairs that had been brought in from somewhere. Cassandra was in the center of the room on a throne-like wicker chair, wearing a navy blue maternity dress that hugged her rounded belly. She was laughing at something one of her book club friends had said. When I walked in, the room went quiet. Cassandra looked up and saw me. Her smile didn't falter, but her eyes went cold. My mom stood up from the couch. She was wearing a pink blouse and holding a glass of champagne. She looked at me like I was a stranger who'd walked into her house uninvited. "What are you doing here?" I said. "I'm here to support Cassandra." My mom's face softened slightly. She looked at Diane, who just shrugged. My mom said, "Well, find a seat then. We're about to start opening gifts." Willow and I sat in the back near the doorway to the kitchen. Willow set the cardboard box on the floor between her feet. Cassandra was watching us. She placed her hand on her belly protectively and smiled at my mom. who smiled back. Diane clapped her hands to get everyone's attention. She said, "Okay, everyone, thank you so much for coming. We're going to start with some games, then move on to gifts, and then we'll have cake. But first, I want to say a few words." She walked over and stood next to Cassandra's chair. She put her hand on Cassandra's shoulder. "I just want to say how proud I am of Cassandra for staying strong during this difficult time. Divorce is never easy, especially when you're expecting, but she's shown incredible grace and courage, and I know this baby is going to be so loved." People clapped. Cassandra wiped her eyes like she was tearing up. My mom was full-on crying. Diane continued, "Family is about showing up for each other, even when things are hard, even when we don't agree on everything. And I'm so glad we're all here today to celebrate this new life." More clapping. I felt sick. Willow reached over and squeezed my hand. They played some game where people had to guess the baby's birth weight, and another one where they tasted baby food and tried to identify the flavors. Everyone laughed. Cassandra was the center of attention, glowing and gracious. She thanked everyone for coming. She talked about how blessed she felt. Then they started opening gifts. The pile was enormous. My mom gave Cassandra a handmade baby blanket she'd been crocheting for weeks. Cassandra cried and hugged her. Aunt Linda gave her a Moses basket. Nicole gave her a diaper bag that cost probably $200. One of the church ladies gave her a devotional book for new mothers. The gifts kept coming. A stroller, a car seat, a baby monitor, tiny clothes in yellow and green because Cassandra claimed she wanted the gender to be a surprise. Someone gave her a white noise machine. Someone else gave her a nursing pillow. The pile of opened gifts on one side of the room grew bigger and bigger. I watched the whole thing. I didn't move. I didn't speak. Cassandra kept making eye contact with me across the room. Every time someone gave her a gift, she'd look at me and smile like she was winning some kind of game. After about 45 minutes, Diane stood up again. She said, "Okay, before we have cake, I thought it would be nice if everyone shared their favorite pregnancy memory or some advice for Cassandra." People started going around the room. My mom talked about being pregnant with me, how she used to talk to me in the womb. My Aunt Linda talked about pregnancy cravings and how she ate pickles and ice cream at 2 a.m. One of Cassandra's friends described feeling her son kick for the first time and how it made everything feel real. It went around the circle. When it got to me, everyone turned to look. Cassandra's smile didn't move, but her whole body tensed. I stood up slowly. I said, "My favorite memory is when Cassandra told me she was pregnant with Willow 17 years ago. That was a real pregnancy." The room was silent. I paused. Then I looked directly at Cassandra. "So I'm really curious, Cassandra. What does it feel like when this baby kicks?" Cassandra placed both hands on her belly. She tilted her head like she was thinking. She said, "It's like butterflies, little flutters. It's hard to describe unless you've felt it yourself." I nodded. "That sounds beautiful." I turned to my mom. "Mom, you must be so excited to be a grandmother again. Why don't you come feel the baby kick? I'm sure Cassandra would love to share that moment with you." My mom's face lit up like Christmas morning. She stood up immediately, already moving toward Cassandra. Cassandra's face went pale. She held up her hand. The baby's not really active right now. Maybe later." I kept my voice calm and friendly. "We can wait. Everyone here wants to feel the miracle baby you've been posting about for weeks. We have time." Diane frowned. She looked at Cassandra. "That's weird. I felt my babies kick constantly at this stage. Like all the time. Why would you be nervous about that?" Aunt Linda chimed in. "Yeah, they kick like crazy in the second trimester. My grandson wouldn't stop moving." Other people started murmuring. Cassandra's hands were shaking. She said, "This is exactly what I was afraid of. The stress of him being here, of him questioning everything, it's affecting the baby. This is what he does. He creates drama." I pulled out my phone. Everyone watched me. I pressed play on the recording Willow had made. The room filled with Cassandra's voice, crystal clear through my phone speaker. "Of course there's no baby, but in 6 months I'll post about a miscarriage. I'll say the stress your father caused made me lose it." Her laugh played next. Then her voice again. "And everyone will hate him forever. His own mother will probably never speak to him again. That's what he deserves." I let the whole recording play. Cassandra admitting the pregnancy was fake. Cassandra describing her plan to fake a miscarriage. Cassandra explaining how she'd already planted false stories with family members in case I tried to expose her. Every word of it. When it ended, I put my phone back in my pocket. The room was absolutely silent. You could hear the refrigerator humming in the kitchen. My mom stood frozen halfway between her chair and Cassandra, her hand still extended like she'd been reaching to touch the baby bump. Diane's face had gone completely white. Cassandra didn't run. She just stared at me with pure hatred. Then she started screaming. "You edited that! That's fake! You're such a liar! You're so desperate to get out of paying child support that you'd fake evidence against me!" Willow stood up. She didn't say anything. She just walked out to her car. Everyone watched her through the front window. She came back about a minute later carrying the cardboard box. She walked through the silent room and set it on the gift table right next to the tiny yellow onesie someone had just given Cassandra. She opened the box and pulled out the 3 silicone pregnancy bellies one by one, setting them next to the baby clothes. Small, medium, large. Different skin tones to match different lighting. Then she pulled out the spiral notebook and opened it to the first page. She read out loud in a clear, steady voice. Week 12, start showing. Post photo of hand on belly. Buy prenatal vitamins and photograph them. Week 13, post about morning sickness. Make video in car crying. Week 14, post ultrasound image. Find one online. Week 16, switch to medium belly. Post mirror selfie in maternity dress. She flipped a few pages. Week 24, switch to large belly. Start talking about feeling tired, having trouble sleeping. Post about setting up nursery. Week 26, announce miscarriage due to stress caused by ex-husband. Go to emergency room for documentation. Post photos from hospital. Accept sympathy. Disappear from social media 2 weeks later. Willow closed the notebook and set it down next to the fake bellies. She looked at Cassandra. This was all in your storage unit, along with the ultrasound images you downloaded and the fake doctor's notes you made in Photoshop. Cassandra's face crumpled. She lunged off her chair toward the door. My mom moved faster than I'd seen her move in probably a decade. She physically blocked the doorway, her small frame somehow filling the entire space. Her voice came out low and shaking with rage. Lift your dress right now and prove you're pregnant. Cassandra backed up like my mom had slapped her. She said, I don't have to prove anything to any of you people. You all turned on me anyway. This whole family is toxic. My mom took a step forward. She reached for the hem of Cassandra's dress. Cassandra shoved her away hard. My mom stumbled backward. Aunt Linda caught her, and that's when it happened. The prosthetic belly shifted visibly under the fabric, sliding from center to the left side of Cassandra's torso like a backpack that had come loose. Someone gasped. I think it was one of the church ladies. Another woman put her hand over her mouth. Everyone just stared at Cassandra's lopsided pregnant belly, the curve now sitting somewhere near her left hip instead of centered over her stomach. Cassandra looked down. She saw what everyone else saw, and something in her just broke. She grabbed the bottom of the dress and ripped the whole prosthetic off in one motion, the Velcro straps making a harsh, tearing sound in the silent room. She threw it at my feet. It landed with a dull thud on the hardwood floor, this flesh-colored silicone thing that looked obscene lying there. She screamed at me. You destroyed my life first. You ruined everything. I gave you the best years of my life, and you threw me away like garbage. You humiliated me. You made everyone think I was pathetic. I didn't say anything. I just looked at her. She was breathing hard, her face red and streaked with tears, her hands clenched into fists. The dress hung loose around her completely flat stomach. My mom was crying. Diane was staring at the fake belly on the floor like she couldn't comprehend what she was seeing. Aunt Linda had her phone out and I realized she'd been recording the whole thing. I bent down and picked up the prosthetic belly. It was heavier than I expected, warm from Cassandra's body heat. I walked over to the kitchen trash can and dropped it in. It landed on top of paper plates and plastic cups from the party. Then I looked at Willow. She grabbed her coat from the chair. We walked out together. Behind us, Cassandra was still screaming something about how it was all my fault, how I'd driven her to this, how everyone would see what kind of monster I really was. I heard my mom's voice, quiet and broken, asking Cassandra how she could do this. We got to my truck. My phone was already buzzing in my pocket. I pulled it out. Text from my mom, text from Diane, text from Aunt Linda, text from my Uncle Robert, who I hadn't talked to in 3 years. All of them saying some version of the same thing. I'm sorry. I should have believed you. I can't believe she did this. I opened my contacts and started blocking numbers. Cassandra first, then Diane, then my mom, then Aunt Linda, then everyone who'd sent me those co-parenting articles, who'd told me I needed to grow up and take responsibility, who'd called me cruel for divorcing Cassandra, who'd believed her lies without even asking for my side. Willow watched me. She said, "You're blocking Grandma?" I said, "She chose to believe Cassandra over me. She chose to plan a baby shower for a fake pregnancy instead of trusting her own son. I'm done." Willow didn't argue. We drove to a diner and ordered burgers. We sat in a booth by the window and didn't talk about what had just happened. We talked about her classes instead. She was doing well in chemistry, struggling a bit in English, thinking about applying to colleges next year. My phone kept buzzing. I turned it face down on the table. 3 days later, I was checking Instagram out of morbid curiosity. Cassandra's account was gone, completely deleted. Every post, every photo, every fake pregnancy update just erased like none of it had ever happened. Her Facebook was gone too. I checked Twitter even though she barely used it. Also gone. I showed Willow at breakfast. She looked at my phone and shrugged. Makes sense. She can't exactly keep those accounts up after everyone knows the truth. I asked if she'd heard from Cassandra. Willow shook her head. Not since the shower. I blocked her number after we left. We finished breakfast. Willow had to get to school. I had to meet Troy at a job site in an hour. Life kept moving forward. That afternoon, Troy and I were replacing rotted deck boards at a house in the suburbs when he asked how I was holding up. I told him I was fine. He gave me a look that said he didn't believe me, but he didn't push it. We worked in silence for a while, the sound of the nail gun puncturing the quiet. My phone rang around 3 p.m. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. It was Jeff, my lawyer. He said, "Just got a call from Cassandra's attorney. She's willing to sign the divorce papers with no contest if you agree not to press charges for the fraud attempts." I asked what he thought. He said, "Take it. Divorce will be final in 60 days. You split assets 50-50 per the prenup you had, which means she gets almost nothing since everything's in the business or in your name. She walks away, you walk away. It's done." I told him to make it happen. 63 days later, I got an email with the finalized divorce decree attached. Cassandra had signed. The judge had signed. It was over. I forwarded it to Willow with no message. She texted back, "Good."